What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, I want to give you an update on what Rndr's price is doing because since our last update, it's made the exact move that we thought it would, and I want to try to keep you guys as up to date as possible. So, with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, looking at Rndr here, what we can see is that its price is now broken towards the downside of the structure that we recently spoke about. Now, in the last video, I told you all, hey, you need to be watching $9.95 incredibly close because if this level is lost, the likelihood of Rndr pulling back towards the downside and possibly retesting its Fibonacci retracement zone is incredibly high. Now, what you can see here is that the moment that we lost support right here, Rndr's price nearly came directly down back to this Fibonacci retracement zone, exactly as we mentioned. Now, of course, it's all great that we thought that it would come down here, but the real question now becomes, well, what happens next? Well, personally speaking, I think there's a decent sized chance that Rndr is going to try to find support on the bottom side of the structure. Currently, where we are around $8 seems to be a pretty strong level of support, especially considering we're backtesting this previous point of resistance here. And so knowing that, I actually did pick up a little bit of Rndr and buy a little more because I know there is a chance, at least, that Rndr is going to double bottom out here and use this to try to continue back up to maybe even retest $10. So first things first is I am going to be picking up Rndr starting now, buying at some of these key support zones. Now, realistically, though, it's not it's not a super huge chance that Rndr is going to find support here. It's maybe a 50-50, maybe a 50-50. If we were in a bit of a better phase of the market, I would say the odds would be higher. I would say they're 65-70%. But considering many of my other major cryptos, right, your Bitcoins, Ethereums, and much more are pointing to the downside still, I'm not quite sure that Rndr would be able to separate itself from the crowd and start pumping against the market itself. And so knowing that, what I'm actually going ahead and doing is not buying a lot right here, just a little bit, okay? Just picking up a little bit. And the main reason being, again, is because there is still a chance that we are going to lose support and start to venture towards some of these lower levels. Now, under the circumstance in which we do, of course, find the support and we do break to the upside, I'm then again not going to be doing much. I won't be doing much until we break this resistance level. And the reason being is because there is a 100% chance that we will get forced back to the downside if we are still below this point. And so knowing that, I'm going to be waiting until we break this resistance zone to be doing any more buying. So I would be doing one buy here, which I've already done this morning, and another buy out here, which will be a little bit bigger once we get the breakout. But again, I don't necessarily think that's the most likely outcome. I think what the most likely outcome is that Bitcoin, that Rndr may very well fall through the support. Okay, it's a strong possibility. Again, 50% chance, I would say. Now, under the circumstance that that happens, where does it go from there? That's what everybody always wants to know. Where does it go from there? Well, all I can do is guess. Okay, that's all I can do at the end of the day. But my guess is that we would see Rndr's price start to fall between $6.50 and $7.10 to really start trying to find macro support. Not only is it due to the fact that this is the most recent point of support on this ascending level, and quite often, once we lose an ascending level of support, we're going to revisit the previous points of support. So in this example, we have this range, which would be structural support. We also, again, have the bottom side of that Fibonacci zone that rests right in this little area as well. What you can see here is that our 7A6 ends at $7.19, which would be another pretty identifiable point of which we could see Rndr's price come back down, find the support, hit support here, then look for continuation back to the upside. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest. And so knowing that we have two macro points of support like that, I definitely think they will kind of magnetize Rndr's price towards that level around $7.15 to $6.50 back within this range. And that's when I would be doing actually a lot more buying. So a little bit of buying here, a lot more buying here. If we lose this support, a lot more buying towards the downside, because then I really think we're going to find some support and continue upwards. But that's another story for another day. And so overall, the primary focus of what I'm telling you today is that, look, guys, I actually have started dollar cost averaging into Rndr again, buying a little bit here. And if support is held, I'm not going to be buying again until we get back up towards these levels. If support is lost, I will be doing a lot of accumulating between $7.15 and $6.50, expecting that Rndr would try to find that support and continue back to the upside. So more just getting your mind ready and getting you to understand that this is a possibility. It's not something you should be afraid of. If we see a 10, 15, 20% correction for Rndr, it just is what it is. Okay. So if you guys do enjoy these updates, letting me know what's happening with Bitcoin, Rndr, Jasmy, Solana, and much more, make sure that you do let me know, guys, down in the comments below and by liking this video. But overall, I hope you all have an absolutely amazing weekend, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.